Now, I love making these type of videos. Potential player swaps, I love them. Now, what do we know? Allegri wants Vlahovic. Vlahovic wants Milan. Juve want Vlahovic gone. I feel like no matter what happens with Dusan Vlahovic this summer, whether Juve were to terminate his contract, whether he was to go out on loan, whether they were to sell him for peanuts, almonds, walnuts, wherever they sell him for, Juve have won. In the long run, Juve have won. Yes, fair enough. In terms of the financial year, they might be at a loss. But I feel like the fact that they've cleared his wages of the wage book, it will open the door to so many new signings. Like I've always said, Vlahovic's wages can genuinely go on 3 players that have more of an impact on this team. So Juve are definitely looking at it from that sense, and that's why they're very eager and very open to letting him go. Now, Allegri looks at somebody like Vlahovic and tells himself, I have the same thought process as somebody like Capello. I don't know if you guys have seen Fabio Capello's comments on Allegri's time at Milan and why they might want somebody like Dusan Vlahovic. To summarize, what Capello had to say was, Allegri knows Dusan Vlahovic, so he's looking at it and saying, this is a striker that's only 25 years old. This is a striker that understands this area, and this is a striker where he's going through a very rough patch, and this rough patch has gone from 3 months to 6 months to 12 months. But he's now available for a cut price. This is the same guy that went for 65, 70 million 1-2 years ago. This is the same player that 2-3 years ago Manchester City were looking to sign. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City were looking to sign. So in Capello's eyes, this is just a player where maybe it's just now reached that stage in his career where he's in the wrong place, the wrong environment, the wrong system. He's not happy, and maybe just a fresh start elsewhere will give him that resurgence and turn him back into the striker that was getting you 20 plus goals at Fiorentina. Milan, Allegri are looking at it and saying it's a very high risk, but it potentially has a massive high reward. Anyways, let's get to the video, okay? Vlahovic is expensive. His wages are expensive. His agent fees are expensive. I feel like also his unwillingness to budge in terms of what he wants, in terms of an overall financial package. What's being offered is a potential player swap deal, and I think there will be some finances involved. Now, there's a player that's been put on the table in exchange for Dusan Vlahovic. So, who's the true winner? I actually love making these videos. I think like a month ago, there was a Theo Hernandez, Dusan Vlahovic one. Theo Hernandez is in Saudi Arabia. Malick Thiaw. Milan. Listen, if we get Dusan Vlahovic, maybe, just maybe, we're open to letting go of Malick Thiaw. Juve are in need of defenders. Hashtag, where are the defenders? Who's the winner? Who's the winner of this deal? I think for me, this is one of the easiest questions you could ask me. It might even shock you guys. Malick Thiaw's the winner. Like, Juve are the winners. Anybody that watches my Milan content will know one thing for sure. I always say he is the best centre-back at Milan by a country mile. None of this Pavlovic nonsense, Gabbia, Tomori. Malick Thiaw is the guy. I feel like as a defender, he's better. I feel like technically, he's a country mile better than every single one of them. But let me just explain to you guys. Juve at the moment, they're in desperate need of 1 defenders and 2 technical defenders. So don't be throwing names at me. Technical defenders. Defenders that can progress play through carrying the ball, through passing the ball. Malick Thiaw, for me, the whole of last season, when there were periods when he wasn't starting on the Fonseca, I was just sat staring like, why is he on the bench? Why is he on the bench? Conceição comes in once again. Malick Thiaw in and out of the team. And I'm like, why is he on the bench? He is your best centre-half. Now, fair enough. He makes mistakes. He's only, 23 years old. 23 years old for a centre-back is very similar to being a goalkeeper at 23. You're a baby. Like, let's be real. 23 in football, you are a baby. But for a centre-back, 23 is a very young age. You've still got so much to learn. There's so much you need to iron out of your game. There's so much for you to develop. He is one of those dudes, and I feel like I have to make my opinion from both perspectives, okay? I have to play that devil's advocate. I don't understand why Milan have put him available, because I feel like even in terms of pre-season, he's been their standout performer in defence. In defence, Malick Thiaw, in my opinion, under Allegri, has been Milan's standout performer throughout all of their pre-season games, okay? Hands down. From Juve's perspective, they're in desperate need of technical centre-halves. And I genuinely feel like Juve might be looking at it and saying, we took a gamble on Kalulu, and at the end of it, we were laughing. We got our hands on Kalulu for about 15 million. We all saw how he performed last year. From a defending perspective, Kalulu was great last season. It's just I've got my own issues with him in terms of his ball progression. But you could genuinely turn around and say, He's worth every penny. He's worth every penny. He was surplus to requirements at Milan. Milan let him go. He goes to Juve and he hits the ground running, and he's a standout performer. He's none of this injury-prone Kalulu. Kalulu's a consistent performer. This one might be 10 times worse for Milan and 10 times greater for Juve, in my opinion. Now, let me just break it down to you guys from a technical perspective, okay? When it comes to centre-halves, let's be real. In a game of football, which player on the field gets the most touches of the ball? Who do you think? It's just a question from me to you guys. Who do you think on a football pitch gets the most touches of the ball? Is it the defenders, the midfielders, or the attackers? It goes defense, midfield, attack. Okay, especially nowadays, teams want to play out of the back. Defenders are getting so many touches. The players on the pitch that get the fewest amount of touches are your attacking players. So because your defenders get a lot of touches on the ball, you want them to have a broad skill set. You want them to be able to progress play in a variety of different ways. Short, medium, long passes. If I was to compare Malick Thiaw last season in comparison to Gatti and Kalulu, who spent 3/4 of the season playing under a manager where they were programmed to play out of the back. Malick Thiaw was not programmed to play out of the back under Fonseca. He was not programmed to play out of the back under Conceição. Okay, you have to bear in mind, you could be one of the worst ball playing defenders, but if you're now in a team where you have to play out of the back, your passing numbers are going to look great. But when you sit down and watch them on the eye, you realize the reason why this person has 95% pass accuracy is because he's always passing backwards. He's always passing sideways. Who's got the balls? Who's got the cojones, to pass the ball forwards? That's Malick Thiaw. Gatti and Kalulu, for me, there was even a period last year where it was being idolized. It was being praised all over the Serie A. Gatti and Kalulu have the best pass percentage in the Serie A. Yeah, go look at how many of them are forwards. The majority of them were sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards. Now let's just look at it. If we're comparing them three in terms of their short pass percentage, then you've got Gatti on 97%, Kalulu on 95%, Malick Thiaw on 96%. So let's just say they're very similar. If we're looking at them in terms of their medium pass percentage, you've got Malick Thiaw on 96, Kalulu on 96, Gatti on 97. Once again, very similar. Now, this is where it changes for Malick Thiaw and for Juve, and it should be an eye-opener for Milan, okay? If we're looking long passes over the top, passes into the channels, the diagonals, okay? Gatti, 70% pass accuracy. Kalulu, 74% pass accuracy. Malick Thiaw, 82% pass accuracy. And you know what the beautiful thing is? Do you know what the beautiful thing is? He attempts more than them. Malick Thiaw has attempted more long passes than Gatti and Kalulu. Why? Because he wasn't in a team that was programmed to play out of the back. Gatti and Kalulu under Motta were not programmed to go long. They were programmed to play out of the back. So the more risky passes you attempt, surely the lower your percentage should be. Sure, the more risky passes you take, they're called a risky pass for a season. They're called a risky pass for a reason. So surely your number should depreciate. Your number should reduce. His number is far greater than Gatti and Kalulu's, and he attempts more long passes. That tells you how efficient and effective he is when playing out of the back. Now let's just look at progressive passes in general. You've got yourself Gatti, 3.2 per 90. Kalulu, 4.2 per 90. Malick Thiaw, 5.1 per 90. And once again, in a team where there's no overall playing structure to play out of the back. Like they always tell you, when you go out and sign a player, try and sign a player that comes from a team that either one, plays in a similar formation to you because it makes it easier for the player to settle in, or two, sign a player from a team where they play off similar principles. The principles could be high press. The principles can be playing out of the back. The principles can be going long into the channels. The principles of Milan last season in comparison to the principles of Juve last season, completely different. Because let's be real, Thiago Motta was practically there till game week 30, game week 31. He was practically there for the entire season. Gatti and Kalulu had great numbers because they were programmed. They were forced to play out of the back. But their ball progression is not great. It genuinely isn't great. You've got Malick Thiaw in a team, he's not programmed to play out of the back, and his numbers are still better. I'm going to repeat myself. If people thought Kalulu was the biggest jackpot and the biggest steal, this is 100 times better for Juve, and this is 100 times worse for Milan. And who's the winner? I feel like I've sold it well enough. Who's truly the winner? Of course, don't get me wrong. Vlahovic can go to the San Siro, put on a Rossoneri shirt, and he goes back to being an animal, getting you 20, 25 league goals, then we can turn around and say Milan are the winners. But I feel like when you look at both of them, like their past 12 months, I still feel like Malick Thiaw's had a better past 12 months than Vlahovic has had. Like, I would, if I was a betting man, if I was one of those dudes that go to Las Vegas and gamble in the casino, I would put my life on Malick Thiaw being a better signing than Dusan Vlahovic being a better signing for Milan. What do you guys make of it? What do you guys truly make of it? Now, to end this video, in my opinion, I don't really think this deal gets done, because it's also being reported that Allegri is a big fan of Malick Thiaw. But of course, if the price is right, if the deal is right, if he's part of negotiations and it means in return Milan get their #1 striker, listen, there's grounds to it. There's definitely grounds to it. I feel like Juve fans definitely shouldn't look at it and say, if it's the Malick Thiaw that I've been seeing in the Milan shirt, we're screwed. Bro, this dude's got so much more growth in him. Like, I've been banging on about it. He's Milan's best centre-half by a countryman. Now, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on another one.